Thank you as always. Good evening and welcome to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. My name is Kromah, and as always, I'm your moderator. Tonight we have the privilege of hosting a very prominent, distinguished member of the Liberian community, in person of Honorable Tillman, the president of Gedeh County Association in Americas. Honorable Collins was recommended to us by a good number of you, actually. At least 4 of you have suggested that the Honorable man is worth being heard from. And so we took your advice, we took your recommendation, and we contacted him. And yes, indeed, he was humble enough to have accepted our invitation without even a second thought. So we are delighted, Honorable Collins, that you accepted our invitation to come on. And it is my esteemed pleasure to welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum. You may begin your opening remarks, maybe begin telling us about some of the good work that some other people have spoken so highly of about your association. While he speaks, while Honorable Collins speaks, folks be reminded that I have opened up your question line already. I'm not going to wait till he's done. And so keep dial *61 as he speaks. At any time, based on the need, we will take your questions, comments, or concern to him. So even while he speaks, I encourage you to dial *61 so that anytime during the show, we can open up your line so you can have an input. Honorable Collins, once again, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks a lot, and thanks for having me. I want to, first of all, extend my thanks and appreciation to the entire crew of the Diaspora Forum. This is a privilege for me and an opportunity for my organization to be able to let the world know that we are working here in the cause of our people, the Liberian people, and particularly the Gedeh. And like I said, thanks once more, and it's a privilege of having me here.
Okay. Thank you. That was our guest, Honorable Collins, and that was his brief introductory remark. He's delighted to be here just as we are, and just as I am. I'm very delighted to have him on, just as I'm delighted to have every single one of my guests and every one of you listeners on. And I really like it, particularly when our guests try to, keep their introductory remarks brief. Sometimes, most of the time, if I'm mad, which then allows us, the audience, the moderator, to engage them more on specific things, on questions, comments, or concerns that you may have. And so, with that said, I will begin the questioning. And as I said, your lines are open. At any time, do feel free to dial *61 on your phone. *661, and I will take your questions over to Honorable Collins. Honorable Collins, while we await our callers to begin dialing *61, can you tell me a brief history about GGAA, the Gedeh County Association in Americas? Now, you refer me to your website for a brief profile about you, and I did visit the website. I must admit I was very, very impressed, not only by the term of existence, I think was funded back in 1975. I don't mean to take away the question that I've given you, but I thought the only Liberian organization that was as old was OLM. But surprisingly, I learned that your organization has equally been around for a very long time. And the membership, the various chapter membership, I found that very, very impressive. If in fact all of the names listed there for various states are actually names of actual people, and I don't mean to be rude about that, I don't mean to dispute that by any means. But once again, can you briefly run us through a brief history of your organization, sir?
Yeah, thank you. Like you just said, our organization was established far back in 1975. And for all of us Liberians here, like in 1975, most Liberians in the United States actually came here to seek education opportunities. And after that, they'd be going back home. The Grenadians that were here were people that came here to school, that probably had the opportunity to have 1 or 2 scholarships, and other people found their way here to go to school. And at that time, the focus and the mission of the group when they were established was to cater to one another while they were here in the United States. And as time went by, the challenges got a little greater. Come 1990, we had a civil crisis in our country, and the mission was redeveloped, and we decided to put together to see how best we could cater to our people. And most of the Liberians know the history of the war. The Grenadians play a very major role in the war because of the tribal divide that we had. So most of our people left the county, and in every refugee camp in neighboring countries around Liberia, majority of the people. Yeah,
go ahead.
Majority of those that were in refugee camp actually came from Gedeh because there was nobody left in the county. So those in the United States and those in leadership at the time decided to refocus and mold the mission of this organization to cater to those people in the various refugee camps and make sure, at least these people were treated fairly, and they brought attention and other things to those refugees that we have from the county. And then came the situation where we started to develop peace in the country. And then our era came, and we decided to refocus on how we can work towards repatriating people both at home and those that had the opportunity to come to the United States and all that. So there were a couple of phases in the process of growing this organization from 1975 up to present. Presently in the United States, we are considered the largest organization, Liberian organization here. And is because, like I stated previously, most of our people were in refugee camps, and these people were given opportunity to resettle in the United States, where majority of those that came to the United States were from Gedeh. And then we presently operate in 19 different states officially. We have 19 chapters in our union, and we meet on an annual basis and make sure that we put together to see how we seek support to rebuild the fabrics that have been destroyed during the Civil War in our country, and extend our helping hands to other Liberians across Liberia, associate with other county organizations to make sure we forge the unity that we all took apart during the civil crisis. So, just briefly, these are some of the things that we do.
Okay, thank you. Folks, for the considerable number of you who just joined us, and by the way, including the Honorable President of EULA, the Honorable Gedeh, and to the rest of you, I'd like to welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum weekly talk show. Tonight, we have the privilege of hosting the Honorable President of Gedeh County Association in Americas, in person of Honorable Tillman Collins. While you were speaking about Collins, your secretary just called me that a lot of your members were trying to come on the show, and apparently they had trouble with the number. The number you read to me is now what we provided, but we just corrected that, so hopefully they should be coming on now. Now, I have said earlier from the beginning, obviously those of you who just joined us that didn't hear that, I already have your question lines open. Q&A session is open. You might have heard that when you call the main number. So if you have any question, comment, or concern about Gedeh County Association in Americas, about Gedeh County as a whole, it will be our pleasure to entertain your question. Just dial *61 on your phone, and then we'll take your question, comment, or concern over to the Honorable Man. *61 is what you need on your phone. So, Honorable Collins, still pressing a little deeper. The organization is actually it's old, since 1975 to now. That's a pretty long time, and it's evident by the membership. I just heard you say the last remark you made was that you have membership in about 19 states. That's impressive. I can't think of any other Liberian organization, perhaps other than other than EULA, that has as many chapter members. So, at present, what would you put your membership at? Because when I visited your website yesterday, per your reference, I was able to see various chapters with long lists of names, but the one thing I struggled to find, I still didn't find, was to find somewhere on the website where I could aggregate your total membership. So at present, what would you put your active membership at?
Well, our active membership is somewhere around 10,000 right now. That operating
10,000.
10,000, yeah. The list that you saw down there were those that registered to attend the last convention we had in Texas. We normally do registration, most especially when we're going for elections. And some of the chapters you see there are probably registered like 20, 25 persons, run about 300-400 membership. But just maybe 30% or 35% were going for the convention. So actually the list there, I think is about, the total list there is about 1,000, and those were people that were actually registered to go and take part in the elections in Texas. But our active membership with the 19 chapters is pretty close to 10,000.
That is interesting. 10,000 membership, a single Liberian organization. I'm impressed already. Again, let me recognize the presence of Honorable George Toto. By the way, he was one of the persons who recommended, suggested very highly that we host the Honorable Man tonight. And George Toto, you just came on the show, so I'd like to welcome you. And your guest, our guest, is on tonight. So it's my expectation that you will contribute as usual to tonight's discussion. So, Honorable Collins, I'm still, trying to get a few of my own questions out here while we await the audience to begin their participation. So, how has this organization, Grand Gedeh County Association in Americas, how has it benefited Grand Gedeh County? I mean, Grand Gedeans in Grand Gedeh, not just the ones in Americas. How and to what extent?
Well, even before I took over, our basic concern, like I stated earlier, was to make sure we help to rebuild and connect to our people who left back home. Like and most of the Liberians know, we just came from a civil crisis, and the government does not have that capability of maybe helping the entire country like the way it used to do. They used to do normal times, what we call normal times. There are budgets that are appropriated for certain things that the county and the officials and members of that county are in need of. And there are other things that they can't do based on the shortcomings of government, or based on the probably economic shortcoming of the government. So what we do as members of this organization is to reach out there and see how we can be of help to the process. We have embarked on making sure we improve the healthcare situation in our county first. We've made it a priority, and then education and other things. So to answer your question, for the past 2.5 years, 3 years, we've decided to put in all our efforts to rebuild the healthcare system in the county. We've been working with the Martha Tubman Memorial Hospital for the past 3 years. We've took over the entire hospital to improve the conditions there. We partnered with people that support healthcare programs here in the United States, and I'm pleased to also announce here that George Toto, one of those that recommended us to the Brothers Foundation, that have been our partners for 3 years. We're able to take a team of 5 of the officials from the United States, the president, the vice president for medical services, and other officials to Liberia, and then into Grand Gedeh for them to do personal assessment of the Martha Tubman Hospital, which is a referral hospital for the southeastern region. And since they came back, we've been supplying the hospital with medical equipment. The capacity of that hospital is about 130 beds, and those beds that were there after the civil crisis were these plank beds with the sponge mattresses that we usually have in Liberia. We were able to change the entire 130 beds to new medical beds, crank beds that could serve the hospital that you use in hospital, where you elevate the legs, and you also have to elevate the heads and all those things that are prescribed by doctors. We're able to rebuild the delivery section of the hospital, the operating room of the hospital, the eye clinic of the hospital, and so many things we've done so far, in the hospital. We've been having a very decent working relationship. not only with those locally into Gedeh in the hospital, but through the Ministry of Health. Everything we did it through the government and Ministry of Health, letting them know that we're going in there and we're going to work to make sure we restore the hospital to a standard that is worth having, especially so in Gedeh County.
Impressive. How about education? Because I heard you say both healthcare and education. So what have you done on the educational front?
When it comes to education, we put together, we have a committee that is responsible for education. It's headed by Beatrice Hensford. She also worked with EULA. And what we intend to do is to improve the intellectual capacity of our people. You know, the challenges we face now is not so much of having infrastructure and all that. There are people that can develop infrastructure or bring up ideas right in Liberia. You don't have to come to the United States, but then you need to be able to improve the intellectual ability of these people. So what we decided to do, or what we have started doing, is to go into these high schools. In Gedeh right now, we got pretty close to 10 high schools. That includes the districts and those schools that operate within the capital. We got about 10 high schools, and we decided to pick up the best students from there and award scholarship to each of them based on which districts they come from so that we can have equal participation. We also decided, since we're working with the hospital, to take these students that are interested in working in the medical fields and helping them with scholarships, especially sending them to TNIMA and all that. Then at the university level, we're able to allot about 14 scholarships that we'll be awarding come March this year to those students to be able to carry them through for the next 4 years. So these are the plans and these are the things we try to implement. Now, we have not done it yet when it comes to who benefits from this scholarship supposed to start in March. We decided to put the mechanism together where the schools will know that these people are actually going to school. We know these people actually got the IQ. We also know that these people are people that if we send them to school, they'll be willing to go back to the county to work. So we had to take up time to do all these background checks, get in contact with the school, make sure that those that we select are the right people and all that. I received the listing of all those that applied and the recommendations that were made by the committee. And come March, we'll be traveling to Liberia. We'll be able to award these scholarships to these people.
Okay, thank you. I don't mean to take you away too quickly from your organization, from the organizational discussion, but what I'll do it now or later, I'm still going to do anyway. So stepping away, slightly away from what you do as members of Gedeh County Association in Americas, a little bit into politics. There's this issue of 10 Gedehs being locked up, without due process. Believe me, I found numerous people on this show, including some prominent people from Gedeh. The last one being one Morris Johnson, who I assume should be presently in Liberia in preparation to contest the October senatorial election. The issue was brought out to him. Unfortunately for us, he claimed to know not much about it. But I would assume that a man of your stature, your position, I would assume that you know a lot about it. And if you do, how is that issue playing out, and what is your organization doing to protect the right of those 10 Gedehs?
Oh, just to point of correction here, the Gedehs that were arrested are more than 10. Initially, there were about 29. And according to what we have here right now, we got 19 of them, that were charged and going through trial. But we've been on top of it. From the first day these guys were arrested, we were notified here in the United States, and then we wanted to make sure we found out the facts. In as much as we are Liberians, we respect the due process of law. In Gedehs, we respect the due process of law in Liberia. And what we intended to do was to make what we did was to make sure we got in contact with the authority. We have written a couple of letters to the Ministry of Justice, and we found out that these people were arrested. They were not charged for a lengthy period of time. So we told them that in as much as these people are arrested, we expect them to go by the Constitution, charge them, and let them have the opportunity to go through trial, the due process. And sometimes last year, we were able to pressure the government to create a condition for them to go through trial. We have lawyers there. We've been working closely with them. We even contributed financially so that they can go through the process of trial. What we want the world to know and what we want Liberians to know is that we don't want people disrespecting or violating the laws in the country, and then we say because they're from Grand Gedeh, we just advocate that they be released. Since the government came up with claims against these guys, we want them to go through trial, have the day in court, and if they are proven guilty, fine. If not, we want them to be released. But we have experienced that the government has been playing politics with this case. We experienced that this case seems to be politically motivated because these people went through trial. There were obstacles that were caused not by them, but by the court. And if they suspend trial, the guys go back in jail, and they stay there. They've been in prison for more than 500 days right now. And all we ask of the government is to make sure these guys are given the due process. If they are guilty, fine. If not, you release them so that they can go and take care of the family and be able to carry on their normal responsibilities. You can't keep going men in jail that have family and kids and other people around in jail for 500 days plus and expect the family to survive. And all of you know we went through a bitter civil war. We want our country to be stable. We support peace and stability in Liberia, but at the same time we expect them to respect the rights of our people. You know, they're where we are. So to answer your question, we are working closely with our people. We committed $5,000 3 months ago to the legal process, and we told them we will be available to help as long as we are around so that they can be able to have lawyers. And just a couple of weeks ago, I did communicate with Kofi Woods, the former Minister of Labor and Public Works, and I asked him to join Gonglo and other guys that are helping us with this trial so that we'll be able to at least go through the process and these guys be able to have the day in court again.
Thank you. Folks, once again, with 197 of us here, let me welcome all of you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. It is my hope and it's my experience that with the number will keep getting better. Not that 197 is bad, but it'll keep getting better. That's my expectation. That's always the case. We have the president of Grand Gedeh County Associations in Americas, Honorable Tillman Collins. I hope I'm saying the name right. And obviously we are discussing the status of the association and the status of Grand Gedeh as a county in Liberia. So if you have any question, comment, or concern, by all means, please dial *61 on your phone, *61 on your phone. And then we'll take your question, comment, or concern over here to him. With that said, let's take our first caller for the night. And I usually call the last 4 digits of your number so you can introduce yourself and tell us where you're calling from, your question or comment. So 008880888. Could you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question for Honorable Collins? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
0888. Are you on? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, can you please tell us your name, where you're calling from, and your question?
Yes, I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois, and what I wanted to address on here was the fact that these people are being, like in the media, what I've been hearing, specifically Grand Gedehs. I know the president represents that sector of our society,
right.
But I think as a Liberian, I think we need to be in as a collective effort because I overheard somebody.
Liberian issue, not just Grand Gedeh.
Yeah, not just Grand Gedeh issue. Yeah, and we need to stop that segregational stuff in our country. Thank you.
Okay. I agree. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yeah, sure. And actually, that's what we all expected. I'm happy that the Honorable Gedeh is on the line, even though he's from Grand Gedeh, but he's the president of EULA. And all along, we know EULA to be an advocacy group, especially that seek justice for people. We don't expect to appeal to them to come to our aid. We expect them to get to the aid of our Liberians, and if they have such a situation. And like I stated from the beginning, this was something that should draw the attention of not only Grand Gedehs but everybody. If you have a system, we're trying to rebuild our country. We're trying to build the system within our country. And you have a legal process, and, that is not transparent, that is not going the way we want it to go. I think everybody should be able to voice up. I'm pleased here to say tonight that people from Nimba County, especially we have Councilor Gonglo, who's from Nimba. He volunteered to just join the team and help, in the process. He came to the United States. He had a couple of interviews, and he gave us heads up on what was going on. We were able to send our Secretary General there, who even went to the trial process for 3-4 days, visit the prison, and was able to bring information to us. We expect EULA to do the same here. We expect other organizations to pressure EULA, especially for all of us that are part of it, so that they can play a role. I mean, this is Liberian business. This is not only Grenadians. But, we from Gedeh decided to get involved, and we're not stopping anybody. Like I spoke to somebody the night before the last. I said, we'll welcome EULA intervention. And I was pleased yesterday when I was going through my emails. Honorable Selector, even though it's been more than 500 days now, but he was able to appoint a committee to study the situation down there to see how they can be a part of the process. So my brother from Chicago, that's a very good statement. I hope that all Liberians get involved, because today is Grenadians. It could be other county members or other people tomorrow.
That's right. That's the issue of slippery slope, right? It's Grenadian or the Three Cows story. Next, it will be Nimbania, and then before you know, it'll be the Cape Martinez, and on and on and on. So I wholeheartedly agree with that last caller. It should be a Liberian issue and not Grenadian issue as it has been labor. So let's hear from another caller. Let's hear from 8861. 8861. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for President Collins. 8861.
Oh, thank you, Brother Richard. My name is Augustus Bayatawo, a.k.a. Anthony Bayagoin. I'm currently the chapter president for Gedeh Association, Rhode Island chapter.
Okay.
I want to firstly thank you for giving my national president audience to be heard on your through your media. What I have to make here is a little comment with regards to EULA. Recently, as I've been following activities of EULA, and myself have talked to President Gedeh on 2 or 3 occasions concerning other disgruntled EULA groups. We have 2 EULA operating in America here, and I don't really know what are we doing this and what the Gedeh EULA is doing to talk to the other lady in the EULA. You see that some of the reasons for some of us have problems, we had to consult the EULA directly, because we always see 2 presidents signing documents, 2 presidents sending information out. Okay, so if anybody can really clarify which EULA is the real legitimate EULA that we are dealing with in the diaspora. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I don't know if that's a question for you, Honorable Collins, but do you care to comment on that? Or?
Yeah, actually, Mr. President, thanks a lot for your concern. We, on the national level, the Gedeh Association, recognize the leadership of Honorable Gedeh as the legitimate president of EULA. And we say that because we've been having, before he became president, and I want to make it clear here, it's not because he's from Gedeh.
I'm just going to ask that.
Yeah, we have always recognized the leadership of this group, because I lived here in Pittsburgh. I saw the election that brought Honorable Kesselis to power. I was part of the process, and I supported Mariah when we were here, and they did win the elections. And I feel, these little divisions set us back a whole lot. We don't have to have a position, Liberia is a big country, we don't have to have a position to impact our country. And I think we should be able, there's so many efforts have been made by this group to make sure we get together. And yes, still, we're going through the same trend of division and all that. But I just want to say on an official basis, and I want to make it clear here, that the Gedeh Association, national leadership recognize the leadership of Honorable Gedeh and that particular faction of the EULA group.
Okay, thank you. And as I said, as we both said, fortunately for all of us, Honorable Gessler is with us. He's listening carefully, I assume. But I'm just wondering, could Gessler be finding himself in a very delicate situation here, whereby the issue has to do with Grand Gedeh as a Liberian issue, and just by coincidence, he happens to be from Grand Gedeh as well. So taking any major decision, could that be seen as, rather than be a nationalistic thing to do, could it be seen as simply because it's from Grand Gedeh? Who knows? But I hope that the Honorable Mayor will find it in his heart to, dial star 61 sometime during the duration of this show to, make some clarification or, speak a little bit to that issue. But let's hear from 1656, 1656. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for Honorable Collins.
My name is Jonathan K. Chua. I'm calling from San Antonio, Texas.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. My contribution that I just want to make tonight also have to do with the Grand Gedeans that are currently in prison in Monrovia and other part of the country. I think one of the speakers, I think it was the first or second speaker, rightfully said that this issue should be a Liberian issue and not only just Grand Gedeh. I have been following this entire situation, and one thing that concerns me is the fact that only people from Grand Gedeh were arrested or were indicted with regard to the conflict in the Ivory Coast. I recently read an Amnesty International report that was released on various websites, and that particular report clearly stated that people from various warring factions in Liberia were all participants of the war in the Ivory Coast. That report indicted NPFL, LUR, ULIMBO, everyone. But at the end of the day, only people from Grand Gedeh County, were arrested. So that's something that all the Liberians have to look at and carefully, analyze and come up with something, because we know what our country has been through, and this is how these things start. When one group of people continue to feel that they have, that they are being marginalized or that they are being targeted wrongfully, it leads to this enchantment, and eventually things boil over, and we don't want to go down that road again. So the fact that when something is happening to one group of people and the rest of the country sit by and don't say or don't do anything, it leads to greater problem. So this should be seen as a Liberian problem, and all of the Liberian people should get involved and speak out, just like the Grand Gedeh president rightfully said. These people have been, undergoing trial now for more than 1 year. Right now the trial is at a standstill, and they don't even know. They have no idea when the trial is going to resume. Nothing is being communicated to the public. But in the meantime, they are just in prison. What is happening to their family? So this is something that EULA and every Liberian should get involved in. If the government feel that these people, have done something, let them present the evidence, let the trial go ahead, and let the jury come down with its verdict. If not, let them be released and go back to their family and society. Thank you very much. This is what I have to say.
Thank you. Your contribution is highly welcome, Honorable Collins. Do you care to make any follow-up to that caller's concern?
No, I think he said it well, and I think the listening public will understand that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere, as we've been taught. So I think it should be not only a Liberian issue; it should be a universal issue. There are elements of human rights violation there, and so especially without due process, I don't have all of the facts, but for the little I know, I think the issue deserves a lot more attention than it's been getting. And the last call I alluded to factional leaders is mentioned NPFL Lord ULIMBO. So I just wanted to mention that speaking of ULIMBO, we have scheduled the former chairman of ULIMBO, Kromah, to appear on this show 2 weeks ago. He fell ill. He contacted me today and he's well now and ready to appear. So I think it's fair to say he will be our next guest next Sunday. So I'd like to throw that out there. Alaji GV Kromah will be the guest next Sunday Of course, he likes to focus on his bid for Lofa County senatorial election that he's going to be contesting. So we will take the president of the president of EULA. So many people have made mention of Geisler and EULA, and so finally, Honorable Geisler has dialed *61. So let's hear what he has to say. Honorable Slair, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the show, sir.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Mr. Kromah, for this show tonight and for inviting the National Council President on this conference. Yeah, I know few comments are made about the union. I just want to make it clear here tonight. I came on this conference as a Grand Gideon. I appreciate the recognition. I mean, it's be a thin line always to be able to separate these two. But tonight, I'm here as a Grand Gideon to listen to my national president, to give me a listening support. And I think he's doing a good job. And I just want to make it clear, this is not a EULA conference. It's not for EULA and Gedeh. You know, this is the Grand Gedeh president is on here. So as a Grand Gideon, as a bona fide member of the National Social Grand Association here, I'm here to listen to my national president and to give me a listening support.
President Slair?
Yeah.
Hello, are you on? Yeah. Are you on, Mr. President?
Yeah, I'm here. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your point is well taken. Except that I found it difficult to think that the issues that have been raised, everyone understands that this is a show hosting the national president of Gedeh County Association. But by virtue of your own status as the national president of EULA, the biggest, the single largest Liberian organization, in the country, and you heard people saying that the issue of Grand Gedeh being locked up is greater than Grand Gedeh. It ought to be a Liberian issue. It ought to be a national issue. It ought to be perhaps an international issue, and that's where your name was mentioned. That's where EULA was mentioned. So regardless of how you are on this show as a Grand Gideon, but I think those are legitimate. Those are valid concerns that people raise. What do you think about that? Are you going to make this a national issue, a Liberian issue, as opposed to just a Grand Gideon issue, sir?
Okay, I will say this one more, and I mean, not too long ago, less than a week ago, I was on the Liberian National Public Radio, where I was interviewed extensively, and I believe there were other listeners that are here tonight, probably were on there too as well. And we made our position clear. And if you look in the media today, like the Honorable Collins said, he was pleased and to see that we have put out something. So, again, I don't want to repeat those things that I said. I mean, if there's a need for them to have a talk with the national president of EULA, maybe you can use your office and you can set up something that we can come on. But I don't want to come here and kind of, I don't know, take over the show from my county national president. So this is why I'm refraining myself instead of being involved. I mean, I understand the concern if they listen to my previous interview, if they have access to the internet, they saw the action we took. And again, I don't want to overshadow my county president by interfering into his process here tonight.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll leave it there. We'll take that. Honorable Collins, that was a member, the rest of National President of EULA, who is also a member of your organization. Do you care to add anything to?
No. I mean, it is a privilege for me to have Honorable Slair on the line, most especially coming to listen to the interview. Like I said previously, we were overwhelmed a couple of days ago to see the creation of a committee, and we're going to work closely with them. And we're calling all the Liberian organizations here, county organizations here to join us in the struggle to make sure we bring justice for our people in Liberia.
Okay, thank you. We have a follow-up caller in the queue. I'll get back to you here from Chicago. Let me take this time again to welcome all of you who just joined us to the Liberian Diaspora Forum Weekly Talk Show. And once again, we are hosting the President of Gedeh County Association in Americas, Honorable Tillman Collins. And he's speaking about Gedeh County Association the organization, and the county and Liberia as a whole. So if you have any question, comment, or concern, please dial *61. Please look at your phone and dial *61 on your phone, and we will take your question, comment, or concern over to the National President of Grand County Association. Let's hear what our Chicago caller has to say for follow-up. Welcome back to the show, sir. What is it this time?
Yes,
One more?
Garkan once again from Chicago. The President Collins alluded that this situation been going on for 500 days. Like me being a Liberian, I learned about this situation like about probably 3 weeks ago. Maybe 2 weeks ago when my national president was hosting a conference call and somebody called me and let me know about the situation. So I want to know, like, as the president of Grand Julian Association in America, like, since you got that information 500 days ago, like, the process, what have you been doing to seek justice? Because, I mean, you all are one of the most organized organizations, probably the most financed organization in America. Like, what have you been doing for those 500 days, and why is it not just getting to the national attention in America?
Okay. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Actually, we've been, like I stated from the beginning, the moment these guys were arrested, we were notified, and we started to work with those that were concerned, the families, the Ministry of Justice. We did a couple of letters to the Ministry of Justice. We sent 2 teams of our officials from here in the United States to Liberia. The first group of people we sent was to do an assessment and give us actually what was going on the ground, and then the Secretary General of the organization went there when the trial process started. So we've been into this situation. It took a very long time. It took almost a year before the docket could go to the court. You know, this is a process, like they stated. They got so many cases, and then we were letting them know that we wanted for these people to go to court because you can't keep them in jail that long. So after they were all charged and they were taken to court, it was almost a year. And then we were in the process. We were able to put together a legal team. We got the human rights lawyers that were helping us, and we have volunteer lawyers that joined the team. We work with these guys very, very closely. And at the same time, we work with the families of these people. We're able to finalize their wives to be able to put food on the table for the children, and also find food for them while they were in prison, because all of us that came from Liberia know the situation there. You know, people look at prisoners differently. I mean, you don't even have money to run the entire government correctly. You're not going to take out so much money to feed people in prison. So we help the process throughout. But one of the most important things we were trying to stress was for these guys to be able to have the day in court. So since that time up to this time, we've been working on that. We were pleased when the trial started. We were getting information every day on the trial. But unfortunately, like the Secretary General, the person I just spoke, stated, the trial was standstill, and we don't know what next. We've been getting in contact with the lawyers. We've been getting in contact with the Ministry of Justice. I even talked to the ambassador here, Honorable Solonte, about the situation. And I stated previously, I had a discussion with Kofi Woods when he came here. He was once human rights lawyer, and he told me that you're going to do everything he can to talk to Gonglo so that he can form part of the team to help to make sure that these guys go through trial. So we've been on top of it from day one to present.
Okay. Yeah, I think he sounded more like, I think it wouldn't hurt if someone suggested that you probably step up your publicity, draw a little more attention to it. Because he alluded to the fact that he just learned about it in a week or two. And I know I've known about it a little longer than that, but it never hurt to increase publicity, draw more attention to issues like that. Let's take another caller. Let's hear from 5614, 5614. Your name, where you calling from, your question for President Collins. 5614. Hello? 5614. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Isaac Carr.
Isaac Carr, where you calling from, sir?
I am calling from Illinois.
Oh, Illinois, okay. Your question, comment, or concern?
My concern also, I am here tonight to support my national president, Mr. Collins of the Grand Gedeh Association. Over the years, when we got this situation, most especially about those Grand Gedehs in prison, we were very scared because, of the past history in Liberia and the situation the country went through. We did not want the same things to happen again. So, as the president rightly said, this needs the consensus of all Liberians, not just in the United States, but around the world. If somebody has done wrong, you need to take them to justice. If they are guilty, let the people know that these people are guilty. Because if you keep these people for long in prison without tangible reason, you are creating another animosity in the back. You don't know who the family of these people are, and you don't know what their thinking might be in the long run. And so, it's kind of hard. And the president and the entire association in America have been dragging into this thing with Amnesty International and other international organizations. We're paying lawyers and paying for these people's feelings. Are they political prisoners? Do some of us want to affiliate with those people in the prison for their wrongdoing, or because they're Grand Gedeh? That's why the government got them in there. The government is our government. And so, Mr. Moderator, this hurt a lot. Thank God that other Grand Gedehs in Liberia, whether former federal, whether politicians, are all calm and dragging into the situation little by little. But our government needs to learn. If not our government, Liberians need to learn. The Civil War, the 14, 15 years civil crisis Liberia went through did not bring any development to the country. It broke the country down to pieces, and today we're trying to mend the country back together. So that's what we need to do. We need to head up to uniting as Liberians, whether Gil, Kromah, Bassa, Crew, Lovins, whatever country, whatever part of the country you come from, we need to work together as Liberians to rebuild our country, not to destroy the country. Those little things are the ones that destroy the country.
Okay. Thank you. Well said. I couldn't agree more. That's true. That was not a question. That was a comment against another person who is here to support his national president. So let's see if this next one will be a question. Unless President Collins cares to add anything to that. No, sorry, I always like to give you that chance before I move on. You care to add anything to the last comment, or just keep going?
Yeah, let's keep going. Thanks, Isaac, for your comment. We can keep going.
All right. 3955, 3955. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for President Collins. 3955.
Yeah, thanks. My name is Octavius Tillman. I'm calling from Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would first of all like to say thanks to Honorable Collins, Mr. Collins, for being on this show, and the youth president, Mr. Fett. Okay, I have a concern and a question. And one is pertaining to these guys that are in jail. I understand that President said he have interest in the whole process, and he been raising the issue on for a couple of months. But I think if this issue was very important to you or to other people that you know, why not to get your record clear or to get people to understand that Mr. Collins is very involved in the saying that his brothers have been free? Why not just go to Philadelphia, which you find a lot of Crown people, or Maryland, or whatsoever, and call a town hall meeting and say, look, I will be setting a town hall meeting on this topic, on the particular topic,
because I want to stage a demonstration in D.C. And I want y'all to join me in that process to demonstrate in D.C. And if nobody show up in D.C., then you got a point to say, look, I stage a town hall meeting to set a date that we're going to demonstrate in D.C. for the interests of our brothers that are in jail. That will clear your side. Coming on this program actually is good, but 10 to 15 people on this conference that we're going to ask questions.
No, you run about that.
Okay, fine. Okay, thanks for clarifying that. But 213 people, is better. But who are going to demonstrate? That's what we're talking about. Because more than 300 to 400 people heard this topic before, and what came about? Nothing. So why not, Mr. Corden, go out and say plan a date and run about and a bus to stage a demonstration in D.C. That would be better. That's one. Then the whole world would know that, what we're talking about and our interests. That's one. And my next question, I heard a brother saying this is a national issue. And to clarify that, no, it's not. Because if you say it's a national issue, I got a cousin that in jail. Is that a national issue too? No, it's not. And so if we speak in English, we should be very careful how we use our word.
Yeah. You have a brother in jail. I can have a brother in jail. Those are illegal.
It's not my brother.
To arrest
yeah. Okay, so yeah.
To arrest a group of people and lock them on the telephone process for over 500 days.
But there are people in jail too. Have been put in jail in Liberia and never been charged. So are you going? Now one. So are you going to call that too? And they'll say, oh, everybody should go and demonstrate because of one person in jail, and the government never found him guilty or anything. You can't call that a national issue. Yeah. So how?
Are you done?
Yeah. So if any crime man got a problem with that, saying, oh, there are 16 or 19 crime men in jail, and the crime people have an organization, a renowned organization. This is the best place to address it. Not saying that this problem is a national issue. I got a problem with that.
Thank you. Are you done?
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you for your question. All right. Honorable Collins?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll address it. Thank you, Octavius, for the question. The first thing here I want to clarify is that the Grand Gedeh Association is not a crown organization. Our organization consists of people that hail from Grand Gedeh, and from Grand Gedeh we got so many different people. We and I don't want to go through the different sector of people from there. But the issue with demonstration, the issue with making decisions that will create awareness for our people lies in what we have. We have procedures, we have process, we have an administrative process and procedure that we go through. Like I said from the beginning, we run an organization. This is a union that comprises about 19 presidents. We have an executive team. And when we meet, we make decisions on how to proceed when it comes to what we're doing. Let's be mindful here that there are many ways that you can create awareness. There are many ways that you can advocate for the release of your people. We chose, if I say we, I speak on behalf of the executive, to go through the process that we're going through right now. We have done so many things. I think I have spoken to you on people that we contacted. We got in contact, I know, with the State Department, letting them know the situation that is down there. We got in contact with the Liberian embassy here, letting them know what is going on there. We got in contact with the government. Those processes led to these guys going through the trial process. When they were in jail, people were very slow in the process. and we work with our local officials on the ground. We make sure that people should be mindful. We just came from 14, 15 years of civil crisis. The way we handle situation in our country helps to improve the stability that we have there. Notwithstanding, we attach very high importance to the release of these people if they go through trial. But I want you to understand that we just can't go and call town hall meetings and tell people to go to demonstrate. If the executive group and those that put the process and the procedures together come up with the recommendations, then of course we'll go by it. But what we're going by is what we decided to do, and we think the results are getting better. And we will continue to do. Now we are happy we got EULA that has established a committee to study the situation and join in the struggle. We will call all Liberians to join the struggle to create more awareness so that these guys can be able to go through trial and subsequently be released from prison. You know, our state is convinced that this is a Liberian issue. This is not Crown issue. This is not only Grand Gedeh issue. This is a Liberian issue. Our country needs to improve the judiciary system there, and it should be the concern of every Liberian, not only Crown people. Thank you.
And I agree. I completely agree with that. Why I do agree with the caller that if and only if a decision is reached, for instance, that there's going to be a demonstration, you will certainly need more than 200-300 people. But then again, you do not need town hall meeting to set that up. You got 19 presidents, as you said, in 19 chapters. So that information, that mobilization can certainly be channeled and managed without a single town hall meeting, and everyone can meet at a designated location in D.C. if that becomes the consensus. But at this point, it sounds like you have not reached that decision. And also, to the caller, I still stand by the fact that this is a national issue. It is. The issue of justice suspension in Liberia is a national issue. The issue of poor justice, the issue of arresting any considerable number of people at one time without due process is a national issue. I stand to be challenged on that, but we appreciate your contribution. Thank you. Let's hear from 8235, 8235. Did I take call from this guy before? 8235, your name, where you're calling from, and your question for President Collins. 8235. Hello? Hello, 8235, are you there?
Yeah, hi, this is Madam DIASPORA. I'm calling from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm the National Vice President for Grand Gedeh Association in the America.
Good, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I would like to add to what my national president, have stated previously regarding the people in prison. I agree it is a national issue. I also agree with one of the callers from, I believe, is California that said it should be a national issue, and most of the people also buttress that. And I also agree with the brother that called from Michigan, Mr. Gilman, regarding the demonstration. When we talk about 500 days, I'm speaking there as an individual Grand Gedeh. This is a national issue. What we need to consider here, we have experienced this starting in 1989. We went through a serious civil war, and the president right now in Liberia, she also knows exactly how some of these things started that brought about the civil war in Liberia. For us to have Grand Gedehs in jail, in addition to all the things our national president said we have done, we also have town hall meetings, and we met with some government officials and explain what our concerns are. We are asking, this is not just Grand Gedehs alone. It might be Grand Gedehs today. Tomorrow might be another instead of ethnic group. All we asking, because we all, if you are in Liberia during the war or not, somehow, some way, we were all affected. You cannot be in a glass house and throw stone. And I must say, I'm speaking now as an individual Grenadian, and let us set the message clear that there is no way, no need for Grenadians to be in jail at this time. We all, as Liberians, because we know, like in the former president, those said a two-elephant fight, the grass will suffer. So this should actually concern every Liberian. It should be a national issue. And how do we go about it? We have exhausted most of the things so far, and we are still trying to negotiate to prevent problems from coming to Liberia. The president is on the phone constantly. Other people we are all trying to negotiate. Well, let's be realistic. 500 days, again, as an individual Grenadian, I think it's way too long. It's just too much to have people in prison. So I'm glad we are all on the phone, and thank you, my dear brother, for actually inviting our national president. But let it be clear to everyone that's listening, the Liberians, please, it's not fair to the Grenadians. It is not a good thing, and we are trying our very best to do whatever we have to do. And at the end of the day, we might result in peaceful demonstration. We are doing other things. And I think the peaceful demonstration needs to be done as soon as possible. And the reason we are starting these processes is not because we don't want our brothers to be set free. It's because we know what we went through. And sometimes you have to take your time because we went through the war and we don't want anything to happen. But yet we love our people. This is a growth, and it's just not fair to the Grenadians. So whoever has a problem, wherever it is, if you can pick up a phone, if you know anyone that works with the government, if you have any contact, if you are from Liberia, if you went through the war and you know what happened in the past, please make it a business to set our people free or try to bring them to justice. We are not saying the government should not bring them to justice, but we are saying it must be done as soon as possible. And if you have the opportunity, please make it your duty to do your best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate your contribution. It's highly appreciated. Honorable Collins, again, one of your supporters. Obviously, when you have an organization with 10,000 active membership, what do you expect, right?
Yeah, sure.
That
was a powerful vice president, and I'm happy that she's on, and she's always very supportive. Like I told you guys from the beginning, our strive to get our brothers out of jail, and all those Liberians that are in jail without trial and thing is something that we hold to our heart very dearly. And this is a process. I think we're making progress here. The fact that we getting the EULA organization to set up a committee, to dive into the situation. The fact that we got Honorable Kofi Woods, who is a very renowned counselor, volunteering his services when we conclude whatever arrangement. And, these are, including you, the moderator here, expressing your concern, and other guys from Illinois and things. It is becoming, a national issue. We add publicity to it, and we'll do what we can do. We're not ruling out the fact that we will not put up a demonstration to create more awareness, but, this is a process. And we're just in the process, the stage of really creating this awareness. Anything we can do to make sure the process works for these guys who come from jail, we're going to do it. So thank you very much, Madam Vice President.
Thank you. And just to add again, look, jails are built for people to go to them. All right, I understand that. My only position is that people must have their days in court. You cannot just apprehend people. A considerable number of people from any particular group, just lock them up without having a day in court. So that makes it a national issue, in my opinion, and I still stand by that. Let me again welcome those of you who just joining us. Let me welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum weekly talk show. Tonight we are hosting the National President of Grand Gedeh County Association in Americas, in person of Honorable Tillman Collins, obviously speaking to many issues of status of the association, Grand Gedeh County Association, Grand Gedeh County, and the last few minutes, we've been talking specifically to the issue of the Grenadians that are behind bar, that have been locked up, as we understand, for more than 500 days now without having a day in court. So if you have any question, comment, or concern, please dial *61. We will take your question, comment, or concern to the Honorable President, rather. And as I said earlier, comes next Sunday, we will bring back the council show of 2 weeks ago of Alhaji Kromah. He will be joining us to talk about his bid for Lofa County senatorial post, and as you imagine, to also answer some questions about TRC and obviously about his days with ULIMO. So you do not want to miss that. Let's hear from George Toto, the man who was pounding on my door that you got to bring this man, this good man. He's done so well for his people. He needs to come on the show so that other Liberian organizations can learn from his experience. So let's welcome Honorable Toto to the show and hear what he has to say. Honorable George Toto, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you, Kafuma, and also to Honorable Corey, for taking the initiative to come on the conference call through my recommendation. But what I want to add is that we are talking about the national issue about the Grenadians in jail. And my recommendation to the forum can play a major role in promoting the awareness. Also to say it's a national issue now, not the Grenadian issue. The forum hosts a lot of high-profile Liberians on national issues, discuss on issues. So if the forum can make it a part of the daily activity, also to address the question to other high-profile Liberians that be on the show, to ask them about their view on the brother that in prison, that will help to promote the awareness. Also, there's a national issue here. For example, we'll be hosting the Honorable Alhaji Kromah next week, and, to give a view on the aspect also too. And one recommendation that he gave the government to have a speedy trial for those guys that are in jail, that will help to promote the event, make it a national issue to not just only of the Grenadians. And my next comment I want to raise about the senatorial race also too. About Gedeh County is a very hard cake right now, every corner. And also, I don't know what the national president had a comment to say about that.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask that too, because right now we know of at least 6 candidates, and we are told that many more will be joining, including, I understand, George Bole and some other people should be joining, we are told. But for now, at least there are 6 confirmed candidates, and it appears like, which also include the son of the former president of Liberia, President Gedeh and Doe. So, Honorable Collins, do you, as a former member of the House, Transitional Legislative Assembly, I noted in my announcement, who knows what goes on in the House better than you? You've been there, done that. So the question is, what's your take on the hard-button senatorial political issue in your county? And then, of course, a follow-up question from me would be, what sort of people should Grenadians be looking forward to electing to better represent them at this time of our national reconstruction?
Well, thank you. I think it's a good thing to have so many people putting up bid to be able to provide service for the county. I mean, if you compare people, let me just clarify that as far as we're concerned, we got more than 10 persons that actually expressed the desire to contest the senatorial post. We need only 1 person. But if you have options like these, and with 10 good persons, citizens from your county, are willing and wanting to provide service for your county, it's a good thing. Other people look at it like the fee is so crowded, but we have the opportunity to choose somebody, and the best person from among 10. If you have 2 persons, you have to choose the best. You just choose 1 person, and probably 2 other people are not too good. But the situation with Gedeh, as I look at it personally, is that we have evolved over the years, most especially after the civil crisis. I stated previously that we got more Grenadians in the United States than any other country from Liberia. There are folks that are going to school, folks that are well learned, and there are folks that want to go back and provide service for their country. If you look at the government, you don't find so many Grenadians into positions, ministerial positions and all that. So probably everybody gearing the services to go to where at least the people will elect them. I think that is one of the factors that lead to so many inflow of people going down there. But the positive aspect of it is that we got so many good people. You know, if you look at the list of people, they're well educated. Some of them got experiences from abroad, and some people got local experiences and all that. And I think we want to make the best use of it. Who should be able to serve our country, in my opinion, is somebody who's connected to the people. Now it's not a time to find somebody who will be thinking about themselves. We need a real leader. We need somebody that will provide service, that will be able to reach to the core value of our people that are suffering in Grand Gedeh. So on our end, the Grand Gedeh Association, we will be making an official trip to Liberia in March. We're going with a very big delegation of not less than 30 persons. And on our agenda, we will be meeting young kids that are in high school, especially 10th, 11th, 12th grade, that probably will get qualified. Those in 12th grade will get qualified for voting and all that. And the other rest will get qualified for the next elections, the presidential election. We want to educate them on how to choose their leaders. Who should serve your people? What is the responsibility of these people? These people are just employed by those that are voting. You know, in the past when we used to go to school in Liberia, we see our senators and representatives will be the big people. You can't talk to them. But we hire them. We evaluate them to see whether they do better. If they're not doing better, they're not providing the services that we need, then we need to change them and find somebody who will do better. So we will provide our basic education. I think I spoke to my friend and brother, Mr. Gisler, on this. He told me anytime you guys making a trip, I hope I will have the opportunity so we can all do that. You know, we want the best leader for our country because we want to be able to have somebody that, take for instance, what we're going through with these guys in prison. We have somebody that can advocate on the behalf. We have somebody that will sign papers, not based on what they get in the pocket, but what benefits the people of Grand Gedeh County. So these are the kind of things that we look at. We welcome the inflow of people, and you know, that are contesting this position. And I can assure you that we will choose the best person that can better serve our country.
Beyond that, though, just one last point on that topic. Does your association support any particular, historically, you know, how has it been for the association here? Do you have the tendency to endorse a particular candidate? If so, have you decided who that candidate is going to be this time, or how do you deal with that?
Well, we have not developed that model yet. What we do is people actually support individual candidates. We are proposing that. We want to be able, because what happens here is that whoever leads us tomorrow, if the person is not good, it affects our organization greatly. It affects the people of Grand Gedeh. And we can't sit upon it and say, you know what, we're not going to endorse anybody because we don't want to get mixed up in the process. If we don't do that, then unfortunately somebody comes and just use money and come to power. It affects the entire process in the county. It affects us here because we got to deep way down in our pocket to be able to meet the needs of the people when that particular senator can advocate, you know, for our county. Take, for instance, we just arranged the purchase of a $24,000, 110 kVA generator for the hospital. This particular allotment could be made by those in the national legislature. They could have made this allotment and make it part of the Ministry of Health budget. Because that hospital that we support is a public hospital, it's a government hospital. So once we don't have those kind of people in the house, it ends up backing fire on us, and we have to provide the needs for our people. So we will do that in the future. I hope Grand Gedeh study it carefully. We're going to propose these things. And you know, our organization is big. We got a lot of process that we go through. Like I told you, you don't just make decisions alone. We have the board, we have the executive leadership that consists of all the chapter presidents. We got to come up with a model through which will be part and parcel of the process of electing leaders for our people. So presently, we're not endorsing anybody because we don't have that model in place. But we're looking at it keenly. That's why we want to start from grassroots in educating Grand Gedehs at home so that they be able to make wise decisions that benefits them tomorrow.
Okay. All right, thank you. We'll take a follow-up caller here, and then after that, I think I'll be bringing you a little bit back to the organization. I think I really want to talk about what you do here, but it appears that our attention has been shifted so much to politics in Grand Gedeh, and the detainees, so which is all a good thing, by the way. But let's hear from these follow-up callers, and then I got some questions regarding the association itself here in America. Let's hear from 1656 again. I believe this is one of your officials. 1656. I think we heard from him before. Welcome back to the show, 1656. Your follow-up comment, concern, or question. Hello? 1656, are you there? Hello, 1656? All right, well, I'll come back to you. I'll check back with you later. Now let's hear quickly from our brother in Chicago again quickly. Morway, I believe. Welcome back to the show, Chicago. Your follow-up question.
I want to commend the president for, not taking the decision to publicly announce any candidate running for the senatorial debate. I believe the organization, the step that is taken to go back to Liberia to try to educate Liberians on how to select and who to select, I believe that should be the role of the organization and not play in the politics of the county. I think that will create more division within the organization itself. So I commend you for taking that decision to go to Liberia, because I believe that's what our country needs the most, educating our citizens how to pick the leaders and the roles of their leaders. So thank you for that. So do not get into politics of picking and choosing which candidate is best and not best. I think that will create chaos in the organization. Thank you.
Thank you again, as always. Your contribution is highly welcome. So I believe 1656 is right. He has indicated that to me. 1656, welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question, comment, or concern.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. I was hearing you when you were trying to get back to me, but my phone just froze. So I have to turn it off and come back on. Okay. I just wanted to add one or two things. From the beginning, you asked the president with regard to, because the president elaborated on, mostly he expanded on the issue of the healthcare and what we as an organization are currently doing, have been doing and currently doing to improve the healthcare system in the country, in the county. And then you asked what about the education system also. And he said several things, and one thing that I just want to add there is that in addition to the scholarship that the association is currently about to award to people in high school and various institutions of higher learning in the country, we are about to also undertake the construction of our dwelling quarters for some of our teachers within the county. What actually happened, and it is not just in Monrovia alone, in most places, life is focused in the capital. So when you go to Grand Gedeh County right now, Zwedru being the capital city of the county, we have, like the president said, about 6 high schools in Zwedru. However, we have some high schools outside of Zwedru in our 2 districts outside of Zwedru. And those high schools, they need adequate teachers, mostly university graduates. So we have figured out that one of the ways that we can attract qualified teachers to those high schools will be to provide them with some means of comfortable living, accommodation. So the Grand Gedeh Association is about to construct 4 bedrooms, 4 units, 4 different units of 4-bedroom houses in the various district outside of the capital city, at least to attract qualified university graduates to those areas. So those are some of the things that we are planning currently to undertake. The project is almost on the way. Another thing that I want to say here is that I'm sure some of our listeners, might be saying that, everything we are hearing tonight is about Grand Gedeh, about Grand Gedeh, about Grand Gedeh. What I just want to add in there, Mr. Moderator, is that yes, it's true that we have to start from somewhere. We are all Liberians, and we are patriotic. We love our country, and we would love to see development projects all over Liberia. But we have to start from somewhere. And where can you start from? Or where would be better to start from other than a place that so we can start it from Grand Gedeh County and then it can expand outward. Again, any development that is undertaken in Grand Gedeh, believe me, it is not only going to benefit the people of Grand Gedeh, it is benefiting every Liberian. I was just in Liberia a few months ago, and if you go to Zwedru, I mean, the city is overflowing with people who are not Grand Gedean. Every county is represented in that city. People even from outside. I saw Nigerian, Ghanaian, and people from every walk of life. So if we put in any effort in our county, whether it be education, whether it be healthcare or anything, believe me, it is going to benefit Liberia as a country. Even though Grand Gedeans are also going to benefit, but just the same way, if any project is in Ganta or in Tapeta or in Vanjima, when Grand Gedeans residing, they are also going to benefit us the same way. Whatever effort that we are putting in Grand Gedeh right now is going to benefit every Liberian. That's all I wanted to add. Thank you very much.
And you are the secretary, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. I just want to be clear about that. Okay, Honorable Collins, that was obviously the rest of your secretary. You just wanted to add that out there. But let me. I just remember though, Honorable Collins. You just talked about, for instance, your organization were planning on purchasing some generator for the hospital, and some of our recent guests on this show have indicated to us that as a result of some kind of West Africa power pool arrangement that has just brought abundant electricity supplies to Ganta and other places surrounding there. Some of them have indicated to us that same electricity supply has extended over to Grand Gedeh, and it is as constant as it can be. So why do you know anything about that? Have you checked into that? Could that save you? Is it possible that you might not need a generator, or maybe you still need it for standby? But are you aware of some electricity supply coming to your county at this time from the Ivory Coast?
I am aware. The process are not going to Grand Gedeh yet. They started off from, I think, Ganta area. The electricity agreement you talk about is from Ivory Coast. They're going to benefit a lot of people from the southeast, including Grand Gedeh County. But that process is still on the way. As we speak, it is not in Grand Gedeh. There's no electricity from Ivory Coast into Grand Gedeh yet. We just had, about 3 weeks ago, the chief medical officer of the Martha Tubman Hospital. She visited here with us in the United States. We had a couple of meetings with her. And that request came from her. We never just everything that we do for the hospital, we try to assess and find out from those on the ground what is it that we can do, to improve the condition there. And that request came to us, and we are working on it. And just to add here, I mean, here in America, our electricity don't blink. But every hospital you go to has a generator. They got a standby generator. They got some just for incidents and things like that. So what we're hoping for is in the future, if that electricity from Ivory Coast do reach Grand Gedeh, I'm sure the hospital is going to benefit. The generator also going to be an asset to the hospital just in case you got outage or anything that happens to the hospital. So.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Folks, let me welcome you to the Liberian Diaspora Forum. There are at least 217 of us here. I'm seeing on my screen, but I said it's always the case. A few people will participate. That's understandable. That is the history of the show. And actually, if all of you wanted to participate, we could not even accommodate that. That's the sad thing about it. But what I do like to say, if you have any question, comment, or concern, please dial *61 because I have a whole lot of follow-up callers coming. I like that. I really like the follow-up callers, but the truth of the matter is I like the new callers even more. So we need new ideas, new perspectives. So if you haven't had a chance to say anything, by all means, please dial *61 on your phone, and I will take your questions. To you, the follow-up callers waiting in the queue, I will get to you very quickly here. Trust me, I will take your calls. But let me bring you back to the organization, President Collins. Just listening to you, I'm overwhelmed. I've been around so many Liberian organizations here, even OLM, the brother organization of Liberians in Minnesota here, and some other county organization. But I have never heard as much money being mentioned around any county organization as I'm hearing around your association. So I'm left wondering how is your organization financed? How is it sponsored? How do you fundraise, and what is your organization annual budget?
Oh, thank you. Once you have a big organization like what we have, and you be able to put mechanism together to reach out to the people, you be able to provide the kind of services that they appreciate, to be able to contribute. We have 17 chapters. We have annual dues and annual responsibility of these chapters. They meet the annual response. They pay $300 every year, and they have membership. And the membership, we generate funds from identification card every 2 years. Every year we pay $5 towards it. If you have like 10,000 persons and you multiply it times $5, that's good bit of money. Then we have annual conferences, annual conventions that we encourage people to go to. And at the annual convention, all those that go there, they pay like $50 per sitting fee. So this is how we generate our money. Besides that, we do have a couple of programs. And we encourage these chapters to have programs. And we work with these chapters and make contributions. Like the generator I was telling you about, one of our chapters decided to just undertake the cost, and they were able to contribute to the national administration $17,800 towards the $24,000 generator. And it was something that was very impressive, because when we got the the request, we shared it with all of them. We went to the inauguration and we told them this is going to be our goal, the first thing we're going to add on our budget. And when the president came up and said, well, since we're the biggest chapter in the union, I think we'll undertake this responsibility. So these are ways through which we generate funds. One of the things that other chapters should look at, you can have the numbers that we got. If you're not providing the kind of services that people appreciate, they're not going to go to your program. They're not going to financially sponsor you. So we decided, to actually do what we promised that we were going to do, and we bring evidences to show to them that we have done it. We make sure we share videotapes. We get people from Liberia that we help, like the hospital. They got videotapes, they got DVDs that you look at, and you see the transformation of the hospital from where it was when we first took over to where it is presently. And people get very impressive. And, they get overwhelmed that at least the $50, the $10, the $5 that they pay for the fees, is going towards something. We have all the brothers in jail, and people were crying for money, and we were able to contribute $5,000 cash instantly as our initial contribution towards that. Presently, we run a budget for annual budget around $50,000-$60,000, and we earmark things that benefit our people, and we put in this money, and we come back and show to them that we've done this. So, this is how we generate funds, and generating the funds is one thing, and using it effectively for people to see is another.
Do you have 501c3? I'm just curious.
Yes, we do. We've tapped in it. We got one of the biggest charity organization foundations here in Pittsburgh, where I live, and that institution was introduced to us by George Toto. He lives here too. Fortunately, George is a member of the Gedeh Association, and these guys have been helping us a lot. Most of the things that we take down there, like shipping things from here, we send 2 containers already, and when you get to Monrovia, we make sure we do the follow-up, do the payment. We got an agreement with government, so we don't pay, it's duty-free, but we pay for other services, other fees. And we pay for transportation from Monrovia to Gedeh, which is very, very far. At least we pay probably during times where the roads are better, it's about $2,000. And each other container content occupies about 2 trucks. So we pay like $4,000 to get it there. We make sure they arrive, we make sure they account for everything, and do a letter and give us inventory of everything that they receive so that we can give it back to our donors and let them know that the things that you gave us has reached its destination, and then they continue to support us.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, I got people waiting in the queue, and as I said, I'd rather have new callers, but who am I to say that? I'll take what I have, and I assume most of the people in the queue here will be some of your officials again, who I don't want to add. I don't think anybody wants to subtract. I like to my best guess would be that they want to add to some of the things you've said. But I think there's a new caller here. Since I put so much emphasis on new caller, I'm going to take my new caller first, and then I'll come to all of you fellows who have dialed *61 to make follow-up comments, express concerns, or ask follow-up questions. Let's take the new caller first. 4724 4724. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for President Collins.
Yes, sir. This is Mohammed Sharif from Philadelphia. Just wanted to call to say how happy I am to hear all of the good things that Mr. Collins' administration is undertaking in our county. Me, a product of the same school as the president. Very proud of his achievement. We continue to hear a lot of good things about what he continues to do for the people of Grand Gedeh, and so that is something that I'm very happy to hear. And so tonight, I just wanted to not basically a question, but just wanted to say thank you for all of your services to the people of Grand Gedeh. That you have not forgotten your roots. And this is extremely important. I think it's incumbent upon all of us now to join you to realize, to actually, enforce what you've already done. So thank you. Thank you very much to you and your leadership, Mr. Collins. And Mohammed Sharif.
Yeah, Sharif, man, thanks a lot, my man. Nice to hear your voice again. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Sharif. Thank you. All right, let's hear from our follow-up caller. Let's go to Octavius. 3955. Octavius, welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question, comment, or concern.
Yeah, and okay, thanks for allowing me again. And my question is to Mr. Collins. And you just stated in my previous question that this organization is not a crime organization alone. And in your constitution, it's written that this is a crime organization. I just read it. And if you're saying that this organization is not a crime organization, so if a guild man in problem right now and need assistance, will this organization help them? That's my question.
Thank you, Octavius. It happens that I serve as Secretary General of the Constitution Committee that drafted this Constitution or revised this Constitution a couple of years ago. And I don't remember anywhere in the Constitution, if you can quote it, that would tell you that this organization is a crime organization. The membership clause is there and it's very clear. Sheriff that just spoke is from Grand Gedeh. We went to school together, the Bishop Julia High School together. He's from Grand Gedeh. He is a Mandingo fellow, and he's a member of this organization. So, we got so many other people. We got Kipatri Wea, who is a Grebo fellow. He's from River G, when it used to be Grand Gedeh, when we never had a division. He was part of the organization. He's still part of the organization. We got so many different people that are there. People, Mr. Flair, the EULA president, wife is from Nimba. She's a member of this organization. She served on the national board of this organization. And she's a member of the association. So there's no clause in our constitution that states that this organization is a crown organization. This is a Grand Gedeh association. And, and all those components, those people that form part of Grand Gedeh, either by marriage, or you grew up there, you were born there, and the residence status, we took all into consideration, and that's what we said. We never reduce this organization to crown organization, and I don't see us doing it in the future. So if you have anywhere in the Constitution, that got crown organization, I think you should read it out to the public the next time you press start so that we know and we can make reference to it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, that's fair enough. So, Mr. Octavia, sorry I cleared you from the queue. I didn't know that. But yeah, if you have that provision that you wish to recite or state for the record, by all means, please dial *61 again. Come to the queue. Until then, let's hear from 8861. 8861. Welcome back to the show. Your follow-up question, comment, concern, or question for President Collins.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm adding on to what I've already been said. Most of the time when issues come out, we try to identify them with a group of people. The reference with just what Octavius just expressed. Our organization, the Association in America, is open to assist every Liberian who is in need, and if the organization is able to assist. But we don't have a specific reference where it's just static to donate a free crime. With that being said, I want to use this medium to thank all contributors tonight, and especially this Liberian Forum. Here we are here to learn and also to criticize and correct each other. So this, I'm happy of this public media that we have here, like our LPR. LPR started as Boston District Radio, later on migrated to Grand Gedeh Radio, and now because of the diaspora, they have been promoted to Liberia Public Radio. So all of these things we are doing is just to help one another. And I would just want to use this time to thank every contributor tonight and every participant to this media, especially you who the controller and the moderator, for also continue to promote you. Anytime when we see your email and whosoever you'll be interviewing, we all should be welcome to come online. We shouldn't just stay by to be criticizing people or to be making negative remarks about people. So I want to advise everybody and thank everybody for giving us your attention tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and I wholeheartedly appreciate that. We've been running this show a little over 2 years now, and as George Toto said earlier, we have had the privilege of hosting so many, not just high-profile Liberians. We try to make it a point to give everyone a chance. In fact, I used to say many months ago that if you wish to be the guest on the show, if you think you have something to share with the Liberian community, by all means, just contact me. We'll make the arrangement. We'll see how many people show up, and you come and talk to us. So it is, I'm really touched by that comment, and I hope that we'll continue to get the support. I must say, though, since President Gates led on that, we've gotten a lot of support from EULA, and we've given them the same in return. George Tutu also noted that perhaps we, as moderators, should bring this issue, the issue of the Grand Gedeh detainees, to the attention of some of our high-profile guests. I agree. Not that long ago, we had Dr. Amos Sawyer on, Chairman for Good Governance Commission. I mean, who better to confront than somebody like that? But then I remember after him, when Mr. GV failed to show last week, we were lucky to have hosted the Deputy Director of Police for the Liberian National Police, A.B. Kromah. He spoke extensively to the issue of Grand Gedeh, the 19 detainees. I've now uploaded that show on YouTube yet, but I think I will do so in the next few days or so. He said he was there. He participated in some of the activities, and he clarified certain things, some of which I don't remember anymore, but I got it recorded. The show will go up, but he spoke very kindly to the situation. So thank you for that remark, and I hope that our other listeners will, take that approach. So let's hear from 5614, 5614. I'm not sure if this is a new caller or old caller. I don't know. 5614. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for President Collins. 5614.
Yeah, this is Mr. Isaac Card again from Illinois. I mean, everything the president is saying tonight is all that we all have to say, is just to be adding more to what he continued to say. I want to thank you, Mr. Moderator, for all that you continue to do. If I will have my own will tonight, I would be laying my head on the chopping board for your radio and say we all need to raise funds so that we can be able to support you so you can continue to have these programs air all of the time. We got so many Liberians in this country, educated and uneducated ones. People need to look back to their country. We are living in paradise, I would say, in the United States today. EULA, the Grand Gedeh Association, and other organizations have been striving to build libraries, either in the capital Monrovia or to build them in our different counties. We don't have libraries and stuff. What can we all do today? Not only the Grand Gedeh Association, not only EULA, but every Liberian. What contribution are we planning to make to our country in terms of education? If Grand Gedeh Association is doing it with some scholarship students, if EULA also has the scholarship students that I also know, what can every individual Liberian, what can be their contribution to this country?
All right, are you there?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. No, I was talking to the brother from Chicago. So, hello, are you still there? 5614?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right. Thank you. I want to make sure you are done. I don't want to cut you off. Thank you. Yeah, that's good. Those are $1 million questions. What can we do for Liberia? How can we help Liberia in our individual ways? Folks, this show is almost to an end. We've got 40 minutes left. That will bring us to the 2 hours down mic. And so, for those of you who haven't had a say, I still encourage you to dial *61. I'm seeing some of you in the queue right now, and I will be getting to you. But to the rest of you, still got 14 minutes, actually 15 minutes left. So that's plenty of time to have a say. The other thing I'd like to add, after this show tonight, if you wish to listen to a repeat broadcast of tonight's show, all you will have to do is dial 559-726-1399 and use the SIM access code 103045, the pound sign. That will allow you to access the recording for tonight's show, at least until I'm able to put the show up on YouTube. We've been putting most of our shows on YouTube, and you support every single one of it. But since we've had too many shows over the years, I'm becoming to be a bit selective as to which ones to put up there. But you can rest assured, this is a show that's worth being on YouTube. I'm really impressed with what your association is doing. This association is doing, Grand Gedeh County Association in Americas. So there's no if and but. I'm going to put this show up on YouTube in the next few days here. Let's take a new caller. Let's hear from 5500-5500. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for President Collins.
This is Jabate calling from New York. Where I was trying to ask you when you're going to upload this forum up for us to listen to. But before you go to answering that, I already heard what you said you were going to do. You are really interested in putting it up. But my question is, what effort is the Grand Gedeh Association doing for reconciliation in Liberia?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Japase. That has been one of our pledge to our people. It's unfortunate that we went through the Civil War. Realistically, we lost 300,000 persons, in my opinion, for nothing. Especially for us, we play a very major role in the war. And our brothers from Nimba, the brothers from Grand Gedeh, and if you reduce it to the tribal group, you talk about the Mandingo, the Gio, the Mano, the Clans, play a significant role. They contributed to whatever went on there. And the only way we can have a peaceful Liberia is for us to dialogue once again. And we started that process. We started to talk to our brothers from Nimba. I think it was about a month ago or so, before Christmas and New Year. We had a meeting with staff brothers from Nimba County, including Madam Talo Kuompa. She was on it. We had the late Samuel Doe daughter, Silu. She was also on. And we have a couple of people there. You know, we have Dr. Willie Gompa on the show, and we try to set the stage for opening dialogue and discussion here. That's going to end in Liberia, in Nimba, and in Grand Gedeh. For our generation, you know, we need to be able to do this. I always told people that, you know, getting government and getting other people from outside, like people from the AU, to discuss about how you can have peace in your own homeland is so difficult. We ourselves can discuss it. We can put together a mechanism that can bring us together. You know, we interrelated. I just talked about my brother who's the president of EULA, who's married to somebody from Nimba. You know, and if you check the list, so on, it goes on. You know, we got friends, we got people who went to school with. You talk about A.B. Kromah. A.B. Kromah lives in Grand Gedeh. That's where he went to school. He graduated from high school there, you know. And for us to sit here and don't start to talk about these things and talk about what led to it and how we can avoid it, how we can come back together, you know, we'll just be building an institution without foundation. So we are in the process of doing it. We've already started the process. We don't just want to go because there are so many dream killers out there that will see you working, and once you're not firm on what you're doing and you start to put it out there, people will start to, you know, get involved in the process when I work. But we are doing all we can to make sure that we put the pieces together, and then we can expand to the rest of the country. You know, I went to school in Bond County. I stayed in Bond County. I went to Cottington, and most of my friends, when I'm talking about reconciliation with people from Nimba and Grand Gedeh, they always say, what made you think that only people from Nimba and people from Grand Gedeh was involved in the Civil War? Every one of us had casualty. That's true. But we want to start from where we started, you know, and then we can expand to the rest of the country. So, Chief, we are doing all we can to start the process.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear from, in the short time we got, 9 minutes to go. Let's hear from 57285728. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for President Collins.
Thank you very much. My name is Benali Trawale. I'd like to say hi to my brother and friend. I'd like to call him a colleague now.
Yeah.
We are serving our people on the same level. I was on EULA level as chairman of the membership when I used to engage him to bring his, you know, to get his county involved in EULA. But now President of the Musa pretty much doing the same thing he's doing there, so I want to commend him for that. I want to say thank you very much. It's a tough thing. But I'd like to just piggyback on the question asked by someone concerning reconciliation. I think you said it clear. This war, there are certain people who play a major part in it. You said you regret why we even had to go to war and kill each other and destroy the country and what have you. Yes, I agree. But you said you call the Gio, the Mano, the Crown, and the Mandingos. And then you were talking about reconciliation. To answer to that question, and I didn't hear you talking about Mandingo. And you know, at one point, Mandingo was in allies of the Crown in the war, but by some coincidence, and at a certain time, they fell apart, they killed each other. There was some scar left there in that regard, as well as the Mano and Gio. So it's a sum total of, you know, and you didn't mention Mandingo in that process when you talk about Radio Gompa. These are my people. You call all these names. I didn't hear you talking about our people from the other side. You called, you mentioned that were involved in the war. So I just want to say, is that an oversight, or you see that they are not pretty much considered when it comes to reconciliation? Thank you, my brother.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, sir. It's not an oversight, actually. I just stated that it was about a month ago that we had a first meeting with those people. You know, the Mandingo people, we made so much sacrifices because we're the people that were really victimized. And there's nothing that we can do, you know, leaving you guys out of the process. I mentioned your name. We just started the process, and let it be an open invitation to you. And, I got your number. That's true. You and myself used to talk. And, we just addressed the situation with those from the GGAA group. And obviously we're going to reach out to you. But let this be an invitation to you. There's nothing too late for bringing about peace in our country, most especially reconciliation. And probably you can be part of the process.
Okay, thank you. 8235, your name, where you calling from, your question for President Collins. 8235.
Yes, this is Edith Paul from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Mr. Moderator, I would like to say thanks so much for job well done, our strong and hardworking president. Honorable Collins, I would like to say thanks to everyone on this forum tonight. Well, I got back on this to speak to just let people know we the people from Gedeh County, we are peace people. We really love everyone, and we want to make sure that when we talk about reconciliation, in fact, for all we know, we have already forgotten about whatever happened. We just look for, in fact, we want us to work together because regardless of what it is, if one person is affected, we are all affected. Our goal is for us to actually help our needy people in Gedeh and Liberia as a whole. When we talk about reconciliation, we talk about everyone. And we the Gedehans, we pray that people will understand we are not out for anything. Our minds are clear. We are looking for development. We are looking for things to happen for our county and for our people. Whatever it is, we all need to forget about whatever happened in the past and move on for us to actually put our country first, our people. In fact, the Gedeh Association is going to Liberia. We are sending a team to Liberia March 19th. The chief fundraiser is a finance minister, and I think he's from the Mandingo ethnic group. So in Nima, quite recently, we actually sent 500 uniform scarves to the Nuahnee. We don't want anything. 1,200. Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah. So we really want the Liberians to understand we want everybody needs to work together and forget what happened in the past. If the Gedehans are not doing anything, if we did something in the past you don't like, contact any Gedeh you are close to. We are open to suggestions. All we want to do is for us to have unity, peace in our country, and be able to stand up like the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, and other countries, for us to actually develop our country and be proud of ourselves. So again, Mr. Moderator, thank you so much. Gedeh Association is not only for Gedehans. We have some Gedehans who are not members of the association, and we still support them when they have crisis. We have other Liberians who are not members. We still support them if they have crisis. So we are very open to help people. And whatever it is, again, we the Gedehans, we love all the Liberians, and we are willing to work together as a team to develop our dear country. And we love you all. Thanks so much, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. Some kind words. I really appreciate that. Honorable Collins, I hate to run over time, but at the same time, I hate to leave these people standing here in the queue and not let them. So, folks, well, first of all, let's stop down in star 61 now. Those of you here will give you the chance if you just keep it, promise to keep it brief so we can be out of here on time. So, yeah, that is the plan. Just stop down in star 61. We're not taking any more new questions. So, those of you here, we'll start taking your concern, comment, or questions, but just keep it brief so we can be out of here and move on to planning our life for tomorrow, Monday. 35-3551. Your name, where you calling from, and your question for President Collins. 3551, are you there?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, hello. Well, what's your name, where you calling from, your question for President Collins?
I'm actually calling from Michigan. My name is Kwame Weeks. I don't have any question for Mr. Collins. I was following the show, and so far I just had a little comment. I mean, I'm a Grangetan, born, bred in Grangeta County. I'm here also as one of the contributors to our community. But I'm disturbed by some comments and some of your callers to say that I think Grangeta, Nimbayans, and Mandingo are the problem. I think we've crossed that. Like it's just like letting Obama trying to blame the economy on Bush. I mean, you can do that in the first 3, 4, 5 months. This is Ellen Johnson's Sirleaf's second term in office, and you have the financial crisis. Like if you go, the LRD is almost heading to $90. People are starving. Poor medical situation, people underpaid, university students calling for strike maybe tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen on the campus and all of that. You got people trying to make Grangeta look like they're the devils, and you got 19 innocent people. I'm not saying innocent, but I mean judge them. How long is that going to be? These are things we saw on October that led to coup d'etat. We saw on the Doe that led to his removal, and we see that continue 24/7. So, I mean, to assert here that we still have that crime or it's a stigmatized world or something like that, I mean, I think it's a disservice to the county. And if the president can say that, I'll publicly want to say that whether we are crying or this and that, we've crossed that level. Liberia has a crisis on hand that has nothing to do with Gio, Mano, Kran, or Mandingo. We've crossed all of that. Yes, why it's true we got fences to men, but the situation now in Liberia don't need Kran and Gio contribution. It needs the captain of this particular vessel to step up her game and get it fixed.
Thank you. We'll leave it there. Well said. Thank you. Very good point.
Let me just. I know time is fast spent. I think the issue was reconciliation. And for people that did crisis management, when you talk about reconciling situation, it really doesn't matter how long, and it doesn't matter what state you are in. There are issues that occurred years back. And to say because we got stability and we got peace and we can move around in Liberia means that we are forgetting about the past. And, it's an honest statement in my opinion. I think we need to discuss those things to be able to move ahead. And we have to do it as an ethnic group. We got issues that led to the war. And we're not stopping the progress in Liberia. We just want to discuss it so that it can happen again. There are people today that live in Grangeta, that live in Nimba, that come from the Mandingo ethnic group, the Kran ethnic group, and the Guiamano ethnic group, that probably feel that what happened in 1990 was something justifiable. That's something that was good to do. Until you can discuss this issue and point out the ills in those things, those decisions that were made, people are going to do it again. So I think, it's a good thing to have this discussion. And we call it reconciling and coming about reconciliation. I think that's it. We're not actually pointing finger to say, these guys, are actually the cause. No, that's not what we're saying here. And I just want to set this record straight here that we're not pointing finger to the Crown, Mandingo, Gio, and Mano, saying that they caused the situation. We just feel we should have a frank discussion, as brothers and sisters, so that we'll be able to move forward and don't reflect back on what happened.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Octavius, welcome back to the show. So have you found out a portion of the Constitution yet? Octavius?
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. Quickly. We are way out of time.
Okay, thanks. I would just like to say thanks to Mr. Collins for his answer that he gave, and then his time and respect in answering my question. And I would just like to ask him another question very quick. And my question is, are you against gay rights or in favor?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Moderator, I choose not to go into details on that right now. I want to talk about the Liberian community and what the needs of our people in Grangeta, discussing about gay rights and other things. We can discuss that. Octavia, you got my number. Call me. I will tell you my views on it. Right now, let's talk about our country. Thank you.
Sounds good. Yeah. Now, George Toto, welcome back to the show. Quickly, follow-up question, comment, or concern.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. My concern is on the issue of reconciliation in Liberia. The national president said a lot to that. And look at the issue in Liberia from where Liberia comes. Important to go through conflict management for people to understand what were some of the root causes and what brought some. If we don't discuss the issue, just one of the people and say because Liberia is peaceful today and we are reconciled there, it will be difficult for our children that are born today to understand some of these things. So-called a national reconciliation among the various tribes in Liberia that the president mentioned, some of the tribes and some other tribes to be allied, will be a good way forward to improve the system in Liberia. But it's not like we're trying to pinpoint a particular tribe in Liberia to say maybe the Giyo, the Mandingo, or the Crown were involved in the process in Liberia. The Civil War that went in Liberia, every tribe played a major role in Liberia, and every tribe became a victim of that particular Civil War in Liberia. That's why it's very important that we should try to preach national reconciliation among every tribe in Liberia, most especially two of the county leadership. Those are in leadership today. We can try to engage them to try to reach out to their various locality and tell them the message about reconciliation in Liberia. It's very important for them to move forward. And even people from the other side, but we just leave it that I would say because Liberia is peaceful today and then forget about it, nothing going to happen. I guess it's going to create more problems. We have issues in this country today in Liberia. Like the previous speakers said, we have problems in the University of Liberia, students demonstrating and things, and on the Liberia radio, on the Liberia radio international radio LRB, and somebody pinpointed that they are former combatants that are causing a problem for other universities in Liberia. And if you want to try to identify former combatants, you'll be going to have a very tribal group again. So we have a complex issue in Liberia. So national reconciliation is very important. So my recommendation to the national president is to continue to preach the message of national reconciliation among the various tribes in Liberia.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Toto. Thank you. Honorable President, I know we are out of time, but we'll be out of here before you know it. Let me, one final thing, though, from my end. To think of 10,000 Grangians here, and when you looked at where they came from, initially they were mostly driven from Liberia into refugee camps across the sub-region. Now, that was really sorrowful. Now, to see that huge number of the same people from refugee camps who are now over here in the West, and they have become a great source of help to their people, I think that's got to be, is that comedy, right? Not tragedy. It's got to be bad turning into good. But my question is, 10,000 people out of Grand Gedeh is a lot. Is your organization making any sort of effort to encourage repatriation, encouraging people to move back to Liberia at some point in time so as to contribute not just with your dollars, but with your physical presence in Grand Gedeh and in Liberia? Is there any such thing among yourselves?
Yeah, certainly. Let me just add here that I told you officially, when you calculate the membership of the 19 chapters, you will officially we have about 10,000, but we're far more than that. We got people who are from Grand Gedeh who we can account for. We know they're here, but they're not, officially members of these chapters. And they got other Grangians that live in other states that are not connected to these chapters. So the numbers are not part of what I told you about. But to talk about going back home and other things, we talk to people every day. We got, presently in the United States, when you check the statistics, we graduate more members, more Liberians. The Liberians that graduate from college, bachelor's degree, master's, and things, Grand Gedeh is top on the number because we got the numbers here. We got so many kids going to school nowadays. We got so many bachelor's, master's degree holders, and all that. Most of these kids don't really know Liberia. All right. Take, for instance, 1990, you had a civil war. Up to now, you're talking about 24 years old. Anybody 24 years old here in the United States supposed to be earning a bachelor's degree. That person could be born 1990, and they don't really know LIBERIAN, not to mention Gedeh. So we have to create the awareness. We have to create the conditions. That's why we decided to undertake projects, and, in going back, like what we're going to do in March, and bringing information to most of our membership here, so they can see how they can give back, not only financially or contribute their quotas. We're taking 10 nurses with us. Some of those nurses that are going will be the first time going to Gedeh. They're going to work in the hospital there for 12 days while we are there. We'll be there for 3 weeks. They're going to understand the life and how people live down there. They got kids here who don't know that kids in Gedeh or in Liberia don't get on the bus every morning to go to school. They walk from their houses. In the morning before they take the shower, they don't go in the tub and turn the pump. They go to the well and get the water from there, carry it to the bathroom outside, and take back to go to school and walk to school every day. So some of these people will be going to see firsthand what's going on. And, once you start to build these exercises, over the period of years, and people will learn to give back. They will learn to contribute. So we are encouraging them in different ways. We're telling them, it's unique to go there. You don't want to take your kid from here, like my son here, never saw Gedeh before, and tell him, say, what, once you get your degree, I want you to go back to teach the community college there. You never lived there. You don't even know the situation there. So it's a gradual process. But we encourage them to start looking at the county, looking at the country, and see how they can contribute. So, yes, we are doing that, but we're doing it in a dedicated way.
Thank you. That's fair. That's a fair statement. Now, it looks like we made it to the end. So what I'm going to do, I'll just take this last person in my queue, and when I do open their line, I think it's a follow-up caller. Whatever they have to say, I'd like you to begin your closing remark, and in the process, you can address their concern, comment, or caution that they have to ask as our last caller for the night. But also, I'd like to remind everyone that if you wish to listen to a repeat broadcast of tonight's show, at least between now until I'm able to upload the show on YouTube, all you have to do for now will be dial 559-726-1399, and the access code will be the same you use to come on the show, which is 10-30-45 in the pound sign. That's what you need to do. And shortly here, you can go on YouTube and look, type in Liberian Diaspora Forum, and you'll be surprised to see how many shows we got there already. I think over 50 now, and that's not even half of the show we've had. As I said, I'm being selective now. I can't upload every single show. I'm picking and choosing. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. So, but we got over 50 shows uploaded on YouTube, and this will be added shortly. But until then, the number to dial will be 559-726-1399, and the same access code you used to come on the show is what you will need. This is the last Sunday of January, so our last show for this month. But next month, our list include Professor Larry Tupper, Professor Moni Captain, people we've already contacted, and the Vice President didn't make it the 19th of this January. We are staying in constant contact with him. So hopefully he's going to make an appearance sometime February because he didn't make it January due to the fact that he was in Lofa. And as I said, Alhaji GV Kromah will be on next Sunday, which will be the first Sunday of February. And while this show was going on, I just got a text message about one Dr. Leroy Boakai, who would like to appear. So we'll also add Dr. Leroy Boakai to the list of people that you can look forward to having going forward. So on that note, our last caller probably ran out of patience, just dropped the line. So I apologize, whoever it was. So on that note, I will turn the floor over to our Honorable President, Honorable Tillman Collins, for his closing remark, and then we'll call it a night. Honorable Collins, your closing remarks, sir.
Well, thank you very much. I want to extend my thanks first and foremost to the administrator of this forum. I mean, you guys are doing a very good job, and we pray and we hope that you continue because it helps to develop our country one way or the other. I want to thank the many callers and listeners on this line that took up your time tonight to contribute to this program. And most importantly, I want to thank all Grenadians that have been supporting this administration and have been working with us to change the lives of the people in Gedeh. We are honored to be on this program. We're not just leaving tonight and forgetting about this forum. We will keep in touch with you. We ask our chapter leaders and other leaders of the Grand Gedeh Association to also be part. Let them contribute like the way others contributed today. And then we hope to work together to make sure. Before I leave, I just want to emphasize here, and I want to ask those Liberians that are connected to EULA and other organizations to give all your support to the EULA leadership so they can join us in advocating the release of our people. It's very important. It's paramount to the success of our country. It will help to improve our system there. I don't think it's necessary for us to sit supinely and say because it's Grand Gedeh today, so we will not be able to voice up. The caller from Illinois, Chicago, spoke very kindly about this, and we want all Liberians to get involved. Let these people go through the due process and let be able to see the end of this case. We want these guys to reunite with their families. Being in jail for pretty close to 2 years is a difficult thing to do, especially when you come through civil crisis. So we just want to throw this appeal to all Liberians. And finally, again, I want to say thank you, my brother, for having us, and we hope to be part of your program in the future. Right now, we are part with families. We're going to be on every Sunday, and we would see how best we can give you the necessary support you need to be able to go on morally and, if necessary, financially.
Thank you, President Colin. I really appreciate that. And folks, I do want to thank all of you for being here as always. Like obviously, there will not be a show if there are no listening audience. So I'm here because you are here. You are here because I'm here. Together we are here because the guest is here. So I want to thank everyone for being here, and let's call it a good night. By the way, our final call number tonight was 277 people call. Not terribly a lot, but I think 277 deserve to hear from any Liberian at any time. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you. Good night.